So glad that I got a place to speak about this because when I'm in my profile, I hardly talk about content creation. It's
Yeah.
so overlooked and it's so underrated so far. But I'm hoping that there will be much more respect for content creators in the coming times.
So, Herman, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.
So, we'll start from the start. Let me quickly introduce Herman here. She's a fitness enthusiast. She has been working out for I don't know how long now, and she's been doing a lot of content creation as well. So, she's like multiple hats in one. How did this whole thing start? Why did you even try to create content?
I didn't create content because it was supposed to be content. So when I started my fitness journey, I had deleted Instagram from my phone like 4 or 5 times. I would download it and then I wouldn't understand. I just delete it. That time everybody was like more into Facebook, and I'm somebody who likes to read. Okay, so when I came to Instagram, I would see just pictures, and I did not understand why would you want to just see a picture. It has no meaning. So I would just go to the app and delete it, and then when I was in my fitness journey, obviously I had a baby and I had nothing else to do but sit on the couch. So then I kind of started seeing Instagram and reading and seeing that people do right and there is more to just a picture. And obviously I was desperately looking for some inspiration for my own weight loss. And so I would keep surfing and keep finding these Indian moms who've lost weight, some C-section mama who's some miracle somewhere, and who's eating the same food in India. And I was really depressed because I hardly found any, and I would keep sulking and crying and telling my husband, why can't one Indian woman be there, so he's like, why are you getting irritated when you can't be one? Why do you expect other people to be one? So if you really want somebody to be helped, so why don't you become that one? So I just started to put out some of my pictures out and just, generally sharing about how my journey is going. Till then, my profile was a private profile. And then my husband told me, how things happen on Instagram. You have to make a public profile, and that's how people can find you. You just can't be a private profile and expect that people see you and get motivated. I was like, okay. So I went and changed my profile to a public profile. And I was like, all of a sudden, I got these number of followers and random people commenting and liking. I was like, what the hell did just happen? You know? And I quickly made my profile private again. And I was like, I can't handle this. I don't even know who these people are, It was such a new thing for me, for somebody who's such a private person in real life and even otherwise, from Facebook's private account to going all public and everybody seeing what you're doing, it was just too much. And then he told me, you know what, this is how it is. This is how people will get to know who you are and where you are and what you're doing. I was like, okay. So it just took me a few weeks to kind of digest that, okay, this is how things happen. And then I finally went private, public for good and forever. And so I started sharing and I started getting these messages from women, that we really like what you do.
And
I'm
this is
so
how
in.
long back?
This is almost 3 years back.
3 years back. Okay, yeah. Go
Yeah.
on.
So I started getting all these messages, and I realized that I was there to help other people get motivated. But in fact, the platform was motivating me enough because it felt like, I had this somebody who's looking at me, and, there's accountability from the Instagram. So I was kind of very happy with what I was doing. And that's when suddenly I realized that the brand started approaching me for work. And of course, I did not understand how this thing works. How do you really, and I am a very private person, so I don't have much friends out there who would tell me, this is how much you ask for, this is what you do. So I was very puzzled. So initially, thankfully, only collaborations which included a barter thing would come to me. So I understood they were going to give me the stuff and I'm going to post. If I like the stuff, I do it. Otherwise, I don't do it. So then I started getting these people who come from agencies, and you tie up with them and you work like that. And that's when I was a little confused because I really didn't understand what is that you should ask for, how much would it really take to create that content, how much effort would go in. So gradually I started, making content, and I realized that I have now become a content creator. So I'm not just a mummy putting out her journey out there. So I'm also working with brands and creating content. So from there, I actually switched to TikTok, where I did a lot of work, and I learned from that platform way more than I learned from Instagram, to be very honest. And from there, I switched to YouTube. I am not focusing much on YouTube right now because then I was working with TikTok's creators team, and I was, we were in the middle of getting my account monetized, and things like this were happening, and so I kind of put YouTube at the back somewhere. And now I feel like I have to go back there again. So in the middle of everything, I realized that okay, now that I am creating content, I better, start to up my game with all the. I have always loved photography. I've always had so much interest in the cameras, and I've always had, big ones. So then I told my husband, I said, you know what? I think the camera thing is all gone, and I need to switch to the video part because more content comes for video creation. You retain more attention with videos. So then I actually spoke to a couple of people who would, just create the content for me, and I wouldn't have to do much work because I have a child and I already have a fitness area to, really work on. So, but then I realized that, with these people, I was getting very dependent on them. You have to call them, you have to fix timings. Somebody someday wouldn't come, and the brand wouldn't keep waiting for you. Then like I kind of felt like I was really lost because I had to pull too many people together to get one work done. That's when I thought that, I really need to get my gear together. Even if it meant like a lot of work. But then I think I was kind of prepared for this. Nobody knew this was coming. But currently, when I work for somebody, I really don't need anybody. I'm doing my pictures myself. My husband helps me. I am all by myself doing the editing, doing the pictures, doing the videos. So it's been a very gradual journey with a lot of learning and a lot of repenting at times because I felt like, oh shit, I just didn't charge as much as I should have. But then you learn, you learn.
Correct.
I have worked with some brands who've been like, even if I've asked for less, they've given me more.
Right. Right.
But then there have been brands that I've worked for, and I'm like, shit, what the hell? You're
Yeah.
such a big brand, and you just paid me this much for so much work that I've done. But then
Yeah.
it's just a process of learning. I think you kind of grow into it. But I would really appreciate if there is this something, some place, when I see do your thing, I read those. I'm a reader, I read a lot. So I read those articles and I see when I started off, I had no information at all. I was lost. I honestly didn't know I'm going to do this, but now I see children want to do this. A lot of youngsters really want to put their effort and energy into creating content. And now there is a lot of stuff, but there can be a lot more because still there's a lot of confusion. I have so many mothers and bloggers who contact me and keep asking me, dude, how do you charge? What do you do? How do you work? There's a lot of like lost loophole somewhere. So I think with time, probably they will all come together and people will understand this whole aspect. My mom till date does not understand what I do. So, so I say, Mama, the videos that you see on YouTube and the ones that you see on Facebook that you like and keep sharing me, some people make them, and I'm one of those. We make those videos that you see. So
Correct.
now she's kind of started to understand. Acha, tu bhi you also make these videos. And she keeps showing me some videos and asking me, you made this, you also make this. I say, yeah, one day you'll see my videos going up and down there. So
Yeah.
yeah, so people still don't understand the concept of creating content, but I'm sure eventually people will. Now that there is no place to go except the social media, people will eventually understand what people do.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's absolutely true, man. I mean, of course, social media usage has risen, and people are watching and sharing and consuming more
True.
content than ever because of the lockdown and because of a lot of other factors, of course. So, you spoke about TikTok, Harman. You spoke about the fact that TikTok, you've learned a lot from there, and you've
True.
also spent a lot of energy and time, and kind of invested a lot on that
Right.
platform. Now that TikTok's not in India, or it has been banned, and of course, I'm assuming it's a temporary ban because it's a huge player, and of course, a lot of creators would want.
Me too.
Right, right. So on that particular is what I want to understand is so one is all these social media platforms wherein you keep creating content and you keep uploading it, and it's typically like a lot of people say it's a rented place that you are in, as
Right.
compared to, let's say, a website wherein all the content that you create and all the visitors who are coming to you typically would belong to you. Okay, so do
Right.
you also have any plans like those in terms of moving to an owned platform as compared to these rented platforms like an Instagram or a YouTube or a TikTok, maybe for that matter?
A website. Honestly, I did in the middle of it somewhere thought, that maybe I should have my own website. But then it has to give you happiness.
Yeah.
It has to give you whatever you work has to be acknowledged. And I'm somebody who really needs that. So you have to see if it like having a website, putting things out there, and then you don't have people, real people who communicate with you, interact with you. I just felt like I'll be too lost and I wouldn't put in that much effort. So that's why I kind of stopped you know
Fair
uh,
point.
yeah. So for now I think I'm hands full with whatever I'm doing. My daughter's small. Maybe in the future, I don't know, we'll see how things go.
That's absolutely a fair point. You also told me about your daughter asking you to create a YouTube Kids channel for her. Okay, and to the viewers now, we have a very young lady who wants to become a creator. So what was your initial reaction? What did you think? And are you actually allowing her, letting her to do that?
No,
Or you
no, I'm not right now. But actually, what happens is they watch these YouTube channels, okay, and you see these lines that they say, "Please subscribe to my channel" and things like this, you know. So one day, I just happened to notice that she was just looking in the camera and saying the same line, "Please
Huh.
subscribe to my channel," you know. And I said, "Okay, where did that come from?" You know. So that was just like really long time back, and now this is her with actually telling me that, you should open my YouTube channel, Mama. I know how to exercise. So she would do burpees and she would show me that,
Wow.
I can make a video like this. Hi guys is her favorite line, and she'll just look into the camera and just say hi guys. So yeah, initially as a parent, I kind of got a little worked up that okay, maybe this is not for her, but then I realized that there is nothing wrong in this either. As long as the fact that the content is created under supervision and she understands the difference between real and real, we are good. Maybe not right now, but we'll see how. I mean, it's just like right now she's a baby. She just said it, because she sees it. But if she's genuinely serious, I see no harm. People are. It's like a career which is booming, and even I feel in every profession, it's not a career which is limited to just content creators. Whatever you may be doing in life, you have to put it out there for people to see. So whatever may be your background, you are going to eventually create content and put things out there. So if she likes it, if she has interest, I really don't mind.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's. I mean, you're very right in saying this career is booming, and there are a lot of takers for this particular career. I mean, it's no more just a hobby. In fact, a lot of people, and we know a lot of people who have left their full-time jobs just because
True.
they wanted to pursue this particular piece. So,
Me too. I never went back to my job. So I was teaching in a school, and everybody knows that being a school teacher is not a very paying job. I loved the job, but it wasn't paying me much. So when I started doing this work, and my mom has a school of her own. So we are into that business. So she kept telling me that you should go back to that job. It's such a, like I said, that she doesn't understand much. She kept telling me that you should go back to your job. I said, you know what, I just do 2 projects and I make double the money that your school pays me. So I am not going back. Plus I have the liberty of being home with my child, and in the comfort of my house, and I'm a very private person. I like it at home, so I'm very happy doing what I'm doing. I'm my own boss. You don't have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You have all the liberty to do things the way you like.
yeah, bang on. Yeah, that's so true. And I think, I mean, you are a living embodiment of, everybody kind of now starting to feel that particular piece. On that note, Herman, tell me another point, and this is something that a lot of creators typically point out. And increasingly now they've started talking about it, is the pressure that you constantly have, in terms of outdoing yourself every time you create a new content piece. So it's, of course, a lot of people say that it's not true, it's not real, and you should not give a kind of heed to it. But then there are people who say no, these are important metrics. Your likes, your comments, number of people who are coming to you, number of people who are approaching you, the number of followers for that matter. So which side do you sway to? Do you think these metrics are important? That's one. And of course, does that give you like this kind of mental pressure of constantly creating something which is perfect, or which is always really, really good?
So when I started out initially, it was a blessing because I really didn't understand the whole concept of likes and follows, and I really didn't care. I was just doing things because it was making me happy. So till the time I was right there, I was very happy. I had zero stress. So, but then when I shifted to a business profile and I started seeing the insights. For a very long time I didn't see it then also. But then when I had to send it to the brand,
Right.
that's the time the real pressure, started coming in, that, oh shit, this has to be good, and this has to be loved, and this has to be accepted by people because the brand wants it. The brand is investing in me, and I hope the people invest in me. So that's the pressure, I started for the first time feeling. But then you see, you do any job for that matter, there has to be some kind of pressure, and I feel the pressure is good. Like some pressure, if you're mature enough to understand that this pressure is going to do you good, is good. If it's going to be beyond the point that it's disturbing your normal life, then it is bad. So
Yes.
once I switch off the gram and I'm not on Instagram, I'm not seeing what's happening, I'm in my life. When I
Right.
go on the platform, that's the time I think, okay, this is about, when I'm editing, when I'm doing the work, that's the time I think. When I post, I think. When I see, I think. But once I'm out of it, you have to switch off. As a content creator, you have to switch off, because it's not like you're working in another place from where you come back home, and
Correct.
you're working from home. So you, once the app is off, you're off. No more discussion about Instagram. No more talking about, oh my God, likes kitne aaye, comments kitne aaye. No more discussion about that. And I also don't personally do it because I don't want my child to feel that this is a very stressful job and mama's constantly thinking about this. Once it is posted, it's posted. Just like any other job, you do your job and it's done. And as far as brands is concerned, I've just kind of understood the concept that, every time it's not going to be about likes and post and comment, and shares and saves. It's not going to be, as a brand, I'm not going to sell for them. Selling is not my job. My
Right.
job is to just have them out there, introduce them to the people who follow me, who look up to me. So once I understood that concept, I stopped stressing about it. When I kept thinking that it's my job so that the brand has sales, I was very stressed. When I understood that, oh my, it's not my job, dude. If your product is good, if you're doing your job nicely, your product is going to be sold. My job is only to introduce you to the people that follow me or look up to me. And my job is to give an honest review. My job is to create something nice and put it out there. The sales are not my job, unless and until I have some work with the brand and I have to, initiate sales or something, which I don't do, thankfully, much. So then that way I'm happy. I just put everything out there. People like it, and I'm done. And there's not too much stress.
Correct. That's a fair point, actually. What about the technical know-how? And of course, like you said, now you are a self-sufficient, like between you and your husband, of course. But then I'm assuming it was not always like this, and you had to learn a lot of things. So this is one of the things that a lot of creators ask. So there are two parts typically: whether you outsource it to somebody who knows, say, video editing or
Right.
editing, or you learn that particular piece yourself and kind of start doing it all by
Yes.
yourself. So while I know
Yes.
you are on the right hand side, but what do you feel about the other side? Do you think that makes sense as well? Or
Yes, yeah, I think giving work out also is very good. Like once things get better, I will also try to work with somebody on a regular basis, because it gets too much. It's just too
right,
much. Because one part is creating the content. I really want to focus on that. And then the other part is editing, which is just too much. It consumes a lot of time. You are doing two jobs together at the same time. One as a content creator, and then you sit down, wear your specs, and do the editing business, you know, which you can actually just let go. But so eventually, when you have enough work, it's good to source it out. It makes more sense, because then you can work more. But
right,
I feel at the same time, when you start off, it's very important to know this, because then again, the same thing, you cannot be dependent. Sometimes, how things work with content creation. You just get a call that, can you post tomorrow? Can you post day after? So then you can't wait for somebody to come and take this stuff from you, edit, and explain him what needs to be done. Sometimes the brand wants stuff quickly, and then you
correct,
can't refuse because you don't know anything. Then you're dependent on somebody else. So I
correct.
feel knowing everything yourself gives you enough confidence to bring it on. Once so you're not saying no to anything. You are doing whatever best you want to do for the brand out there. But at the same time, yes, giving work out to somebody would be really helpful and give me enough time to create more. So that's
Right.
what I feel.
Fair point. Also, what about the way forward? I mean, of course, you are a brilliant creator and you've been creating a lot of content. I see that you've started your YouTube channel as well. I hopefully TikTok would come back soon, but it's not there right now, of course. And there may be a couple of other platforms which I'm not sure whether you're exploring or not. So that's the first question. Are you exploring or are you looking at other platforms as well? And the second is, so a lot of creators are now moving into the direction of having their own branded products. Are you also looking at something like that, considering, again, a lot of people look up to you for weight loss or for training or for maybe protein, I don't know, a lot of other things as well?
No, honestly speaking, no. No, because I feel, there is already, I am offering them enough. And just having something labeled as this one's, it just didn't feel right. It doesn't make sense to me.
Fair. What about other platforms? Are you also looking at some other platforms to be explored?
Honestly, no. I didn't. I still cannot accept the fact that TikTok isn't there. And again, I'm saying, for me, the platform really makes a difference where I'm working, is because I have to be happy. My first point, I think, with every job, you have to be happy with what you do. If you aren't happy, then it doesn't make sense what you're doing and why you're doing. It's not always about money. It is about money, but you have to be happy too. I am also hoping that it should come back. And since I had just started, like a year ago, I started working with them and in the creators team, so the work was a lot. So in fact, my YouTube was also kind of sidelined because I was creating so much content for TikTok that time. I did go to the other so-called apps that have come everywhere, just to see what they're offering. And I'm sorry to say, but they're all pathetic. The user experience is so bad that
Right.
I don't even feel like uploading a video. It would take a decade. The editing is so bad. The user experience, like the way you use Instagram, you just love it. That user experience, unless that kind of quality some app is going to produce, I don't see myself jumping into something just because I need another platform. I really don't need another platform.
Right.
So for now, no.
Okay, brilliant. That's good. Okay, before we go off, Arman, what is that one advice that you'd want to give to the budding creator, somebody who's just started or is just now planning to start, let's say?
Okay, yeah. So this is one thing I've answered a lot of people even before. I feel like, when people start off on any platform for that matter, nowadays there's this race to get the brands, and the brands should come to us, or we should go to the brands. Quickly, quickly text all the brands. Can you
Correct.
please send me samples? Can you please do this? How are we going to get? I have had these really big, big makeup artists also messaging me and asking me, how did you get this brand? Why did they send you stuff? What are you doing? I'm like, okay, first of all, you have to be you. First of
Right.
all, your own personality and what you do has to be out there. And I feel when you are out there, the brand comes to you. I have not even single time in 3 years ever texted any brand that please I want work, or please can you send me samples, or I want to work with you, something. Not even one single message have I ever sent from my DM or my email to any brand. They
Correct.
have come themselves, sometimes through the apps that I work with, or the agency, or directly. So many times the brand just comes directly. So I think when you are good in what you're doing, the brand automatically comes to you.
Correct.
People automatically come to you because they like the content that you create. So you should focus on creating a good base for yourself, create a good content, and be with what you're doing, and don't run just after the brands because you feel that having branded work makes you, some extraordinary person. I don't even understand where this comes from, because thankfully when I came, I knew nothing about it. So, I've kind of taken those baby steps and grown into it. But nowadays, when people come and these young children come, they all want to just text the brands, and they feel like branded work is, I don't know what, without having any base of good content, any understanding of the platform, any relationship with even the followers who follow you, having those fire lit emojis and hot, 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 hot. I do not consider that engagement. I have
Correct.
literally put them on block for my comment section. You would hardly find any hot, 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 like, thumbs up. You will hardly see that under my, because I don't care if I get 4 comments, but I want them to come from a person who's genuinely a person out there who likes what I do, who's
Right.
liking the product, who's interested to know about the product or
Correct.
the brand, or can relate more to the brand. That's the kind of thing that I want to put out there. I'm not interested in 10 men telling me you look hot under a Nescafe video. Like, I, I really don't understand that business. So I feel that when you are out there and people see what you are doing, the brand will automatically associate with you and come to you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Arman. It was lovely
Most
chatting with you.
same here.
I look forward to have more discussions with you in the future because
Absolutely,
you've been
absolutely.
creating beautiful content. Just keep doing
Thank
that.
you.
Uh,
Thank you.
your work and yeah, I mean, thank you so much for being here.
I love the app. I really have to say, I have never worked with somebody, who's trying to, bring so much awareness and helping and putting out such nice content themselves also, for people to learn and grow. Because it's not just about you get the brand to a creator and the creator works for you and done. Normally that's how I work with other people. They just call me, give me the work and done. There's no place that you can go and associate with people who are
Correct.
bringing you work. So I almost read all the articles that are published onto your thing. I even downloaded it on my husband's app. I said, you read it at your time instead of watching Google all the time, or YouTube, all the time. So I like to read. I like to read and explore and understand and learn all the time.